The death rate still stands at just a little above 2%, is 2.3%. Now, you have to look at it holistically, which includes the 76,000 people that have been affected. So out of the 76,000 people affected, anyway, all right? And the only way you'll know if information is hidden is if it becomes public, then it's no longer hidden, all right? So we cannot just assume that information is being hidden from us. It's 76,000 people affected by the virus, 2,250 people have died. That is 2.3% of the affected persons have died, all right? So the fatality rate is still at 2%. Do not allow people to twop your minds, all right? Stay woke, all right? The 11% is coming from the 21,000 cases that are closed, meaning 18% of those people, 89% of those people would have recovered and 11% would have died. And that is only from the closed cases. If you're looking at the active cases, 78% of those people are in mild condition, 22% in critical condition. All right? But if you're looking at it holistically, it's 2% fatality rate. Be careful of the information that you share. If you don't understand, ask somebody to assist you. So we are now down to 32 countries and territories around the world that have been affected by the virus. One conveyance, which is the Diamond Princess that we all know about, that is docked or harbored at the in Japan. And of course, we know that the majority of the cases or confirmed cases would be in mainland China. All right, we have 75,000 people affected by the virus in China. Now, I want everybody listening, those of you especially who normally join us on the Facebook live video, all right? Now, we have been having a bit of difficulty with the live. Let me just refresh here and see if we're up. We are definitely live on YouTube. So if you want to look at the video live, I would recommend that you go to YouTube and click on the live video and you would be able to view it. Now, of course, for those of you who don't have access, I'm trying to get that link so that I can send it to you so that you have a better chance of viewing. But like I said earlier, if you are uncertain, if you are unsure, if you don't understand the numbers, ask for a little bit of help. There's no shame in that. We are not all mathematicians, you know. I had a rough time understanding the numbers too, so I asked for help. All right, but that individual in particular has been going around on different programs, and he has been providing that information to persons, and I really do hope that he gets it right, because it is not correct to let the people believe that something is being hidden and that there is or that there are 11 cases of the coronavirus out there somewhere. There is not. All right, there is not. It's not 11% fatality rate. It's only 2%. Let's get the numbers right. The thing is already bad as it is. Let's not add falsities to it to make it seem a lot worse. Okay? So I do have the live video from our YouTube page. We're gonna take a short break and then so I can set it up properly, and then we'll be back with some more information for you. All right?
This is an outbreak of disease that started in Wuhan. It's one of the central Chinese cities. It's caused by a novel coronavirus. That means it's brand new. It's so new that actually it doesn't have a name yet. It's from a family called the coronaviruses. The symptoms of this illness are pretty mundane on the face of it. It's a dry cough, fever, and then breathing problems. It seems quite mild in lots of people, and probably those people don't end up in hospital at all. We only know about the more severe cases, which is where people have gone on to develop viral pneumonia. And those people obviously end up in hospital, and all the deaths have been amongst those people. This brand new coronavirus came from animals, and it's believed that the source was actually a seafood market in Wuhan, which also sells wild animals. So far as we know, all the cases have come out of Wuhan. So some of these people are in places like Thailand and Japan, but they haven't picked it up there. They actually got it in Wuhan and then they travelled. In China, where the most cases are, it's older people who are ending up in hospital with this. They're usually over 40, and the very youngest person diagnosed is about 13 or 14 years old. So it doesn't appear to be affecting small children, and those who've died tend actually to have underlying conditions, as they say. They're frail, they may have heart disease or cancer already, and so they're vulnerable. Basically, their immune systems are not very robust, and they're going to find it very hard to fight off a virus. We've only just discovered that the new coronavirus is actually transmitted from one person to another. It was hoped at first, actually, that it just came from animals, as all coronaviruses do, but now it looks as though it is actually passed from one human being to another. So we've got people-to-people transmission because the market's been closed for some time, and there are cases in people who've never been near it. So there actually isn't any treatment at the moment at all. Because this is a virus, antibiotics won't work. They only work against bacteria, not viruses. So really you want an antiviral treatment, but none of the flu drugs that we've got, and we have got a couple of those, will work on this. A coronavirus is different from a flu virus. So there actually isn't any treatment at the moment at all. This one is scary because it is a brand new virus, so we don't know how it's going to behave. But I have to say, we perhaps ought to put it in the context of some of the other things. I went to Sierra Leone to cover the West Africa outbreak of Ebola, and that was killing more than half of all those people who were infected. SARS, which was a novel coronavirus, just like this one, back in 2002, did end up causing a global panic. And that was largely because nobody had ever seen it before, but also the death rate was at around 10%. Well, here, so far, we're talking about a death rate of 2%, which is a lot less. And it does look as if many of those people actually have had underlying health problems, which would make it more likely that they would die. They could equally have died of flu. So you have to put it into that context, I think.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
All right, and we are back. So it seems like we're up and running and we're ready to go. Those of you who normally join us on Facebook Live, the YouTube link is there posted. You can join us on YouTube, and you can still post your comments. They will be read, of course, to keep you informed on what's happening, to keep you in the know. Now, I just want to go back to a topic that we were discussing yesterday, something of valued importance, and I think that a lot of people don't understand, we take for granted, or whatever it may be. the youth of our country and the importance of being involved in their lives, regardless of if you're a parent, teacher, somebody in the community, and what part we can play in ensuring that they have a valuable source of education, a valuable source of life, a valuable contribution to how they develop, you know. And yesterday I had a very long conversation with somebody as it relates to that. And it is very sad that we don't understand. We've begun wrong. Let's just start there. We've begun wrong because we don't even understand what the education system should be, right? And of course, this is my opinion. We need to take time to understand that the education system for our children or for anybody in society is every teachable moment that a child is exposed to. And I'm going to repeat that. The education system for our children, here and anywhere around the world, is every teachable moment that a child is exposed to. So the education system is not just a group of people. It's not just the teachers or the school or just that. The education system for our children is everything. It's the community. It's the environment. It is every teachable thing that our child is exposed to. So when there are things happening in society that are not favorable, when we support things in our society that causes controversy and conflict, and then we wonder where our children get it from, it's the education system. It's every experience that they are exposed to that teaches them a particular lesson. And we must understand that. And that is where we must start. And stop isolating the education system to just the teachers or to just the school system or to just the education system, Ministry of Education in Grenada. And start understanding that every teachable moment, every situation, every circumstances that a child learns a lesson from is that child's education system. So we've been getting it wrong all these years, because we were quick to blame our ministers of education, and we were quick to blame our teachers, and we were quick to blame our schools, because we felt comfortable that it wasn't our fault. You know, I listened to this morning to a lady call on one of the radio programs, and she was clearly upset. She was clearly distraught over the fact that there were young people engaging in drug use. And when she was asked, did you contact the police? Her response is what disappointed me, because she very boldly said, no, I didn't call the police because they too, in some cases, they don't do anything, or they too are involved, or something along those lines. And it hurt me more than the fact that that the children were involved in this practice. And you know why it hurt me more? It hurt me more because this is something that happens regularly in our society, where we believe that it is not a responsibility to contact officials that we believe can make a change, because we believe that they too may be involved, or we believe that they cannot make a difference, or we believe that it's not our place to do so. And that is wrong. What's wrong with our society? We always think that it's somebody else's job to do this, and it's somebody else's job to do that. And I have my personal opinions as to that area and the drug usage in that area. And people keep saying, oh, well, the police need to do something and the government need. No. See, we're getting that wrong too. Because if you know of persons, whether they are close to you or not, that is involved in drug usage, it is your responsibility as a human being, as a family member, as a friend, to seek help for that individual. See, we're fighting the problem wrong to begin with. We have to isolate the people from the circumstances that they are exposed to. So we could break down Jamrock, we could move it around, we can say it's a hub for drug usage and all of that, and we break it down and we break down buildings. But did we really break down the system or the structure? We can move them to different parts of the country. We can separate them and put one person in St. Andrew. But does that really deal with the structure? And until we find a way to deal with the structure, we need to start dealing with the people that are involved in the usage. Find help for them. We're pointing the finger in the wrong direction. Sometimes we are more part of the problem than part of the solution. See, that caller this morning, while I felt her pain and I understood where she was coming from, she too was part of the problem because she didn't do anything to help fix it. At the end of the day, if the police came and they didn't do anything, at least she could have stood up and said, I did my part. I alerted the officials and possibly saved a life. But you see, when we start with the mentality that the police ain't gonna do nothing and the government ain't gonna do nothing, and when we start with that mentality, we've already lost the fight. We've already lost the argument because we are coming from a place of negativity. So we can never find the silver lining. We can never find the solution to any problem if all we can see is the negative side of it. If all we can do is point a finger and say, well, it's this person's fault and it's that person's fault. And that's where we have started going wrong in our society. And she mentioned that it was school children supposed to be at school. Where are the parents? I don't see how my son could not attend school. And I don't know, I don't see it. Because as a parent, it is your responsibility to always be on top of things. We find it a lot, and this is just the truth. Somebody has to speak it. We find in a lot of situations a child leaves primary school and goes to secondary school, and then that's it. Parents stop call teachers, parents stop check notebooks, and only when the report comes, that's when we know that our child has a problem. It can't be that way. That scaffolding, that structure must continue. The way we show effort and emphasis when they enter preschool, and we're so excited because a child comes home and they can recite the letters of the alphabet and the sounds that they make and all of that. That same vigor and excitement must remain throughout your child's educational life. Stay in touch with the teacher. Some parents, you only see them in school when they're gone to cuss a teacher for something that the child would have come home and say. Or you only see them in school when there's a problem that they want to confront somebody about. That cannot work. These things must stop. We must change the narrative and begin to rewrite the story. We talk about a Grenada that we once had. We talk about a Grenada that we want to see, but nobody wants to put in the work. Everybody wants to say, well, it's this person's job, it's that person's job, or this isn't going right because it's this government's fault. Nobody wants to take the blame. Nobody wants to say, well, I have done nothing but contribute to the negativity. I have done nothing but complain. I have done nothing but condemn. Nobody wants to say that. Nobody wants to say, well, I have done X, Y, Z, because some of them, all they have done is complain. I look at our young men and on the streets these days, and in my mind, I wish, sometimes I pass them and I wish that I could help. Because it breaks my heart to see some of our young people just fall by the wayside. It does. And sometimes I wish that I had the power to do so much more. But sometimes the little that you can do may just be enough. So just do it. Have a conversation with a young man. Maybe that one conversation that you have had, nobody has ever had it with him before. And that one conversation may just change his whole life. We never know. Sometimes we just look at a situation on the exterior and think that we have the answer and think that we know exactly what is happening because we have seen the exterior of the situation, so we are informed about it. But sometimes it's not the exterior that matters. It is what is happening underneath. The thing that we do not see, the struggle that that young person is probably going through in their minds or in their families. We have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. How are you today?
Hi, good morning.
All right, good. Well, just to give you a brief update from the Ministry of Health.
Oh, good morning. Yes.
Well, they say no news is good news, but we are going to defy that this morning because we had some very, very, very exciting news. And that yesterday, the team from the Ministry of Health visited the Sister Isle, and what we did was, to do a couple of demonstrations. We also carried up some handheld, non-contact thermometers. We trained our frontline staff that's at the Lauriston Airport. The persons going up there may see them using the handheld thermometers. We also did, a presentation with them. We visited the yachting marinas. We also went to the main port on the island, where we met with Mr. Leggett and other senior members from customs. We also went at the Hillsborough, not the Hillsborough, but at the hospital. That's the Princess Alice Hospital, and we did some presentations and demonstrations again with them. That was well received. I think I shared some of the images with you likewise.
Yes.
Yes, so nurses were being trained how to put on and properly remove their PPEs and so forth, and that was one of the high points. The members of staff were all focused. They were all paying good attention to what was going on. As we continue to upscale our level of surveillance. At the various ports of entries. I could also tell you, so Prime Minister returned to the island just recently.
Right.
And our portals officer down there, was able to interact with Prime Minister, and give him a first-hand view as to what's happening, and how it all happens. So, we continue to lead, we continue to stand out, in the Dairy region. That is based on what we have done so far, and all of the steps that we will continue to take. So, just to encourage people, to still adhere to the best practices that of cough and hand and sneeze hygiene.
Of
keep
course.
your social distance, and do not be discriminatory, especially when you will interact with different people, because we know it's Carriacou Carnival too, and a lot of people will be, traveling, so we're still all in this together, of course.
Yeah.
And while you are on the mainland, don't forget too that that dengue is endemic.
Yes.
So persons should be, taking extra precaution, in ensuring that the discard the waste, in receptacles that are designated for that.
Yeah.
Do not just go about throwing your cups and cans and so forth and bottles in the rivers and ravines and streams and bushes and drains and so forth, because when the rainy season do start, you will have a crisis on your hand with respect to dengue. And if the persons, it's generally for persons who are going on to Trinidad, because you have cases of influenza, they should also be, on guard.
Yeah.
And even yellow fever, so persons who, you should have had it at least 2 weeks prior to, but in case you're planning on going to any, country where there are reported cases of yellow fever, we ask you to check us at the community nursing department of the Ministry of Health, and ensure that your status is, at optimum. Come and get your yellow fever shots, and we still have flu shots. So persons, can still come around, get their flu shots, especially if you're traveling between this afternoon, tomorrow, whenever it is for Trinidad Carnival, or even for Carriacou Carnival. So those of you who are on the mainland, you could visit, the Hillsborough Health Center, for your flu shots. Those of you who are planning on going down to Trinidad, also visit, your nearest health center, and get your flu shot. It's free. Just go and tell nurse, listen, you know what, I am here for my flu shot, and she will give you one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Kevin. You always keep us up to date, and I'm really happy to hear that the nurses and frontline health officials in Carriacou and PT Martinique are ready to face the carnival season, and of course they would feel a lot better, and more secure with that training that they would have received.
Well,
so
yes, I could tell you, Ms. Duncan, that the responses that came from them was, rather encouraging. And we always hear our minister say, look, that he is very high in praise, of the workers, who give off their time, and make that sacrifice to go the extra mile. And yesterday was testimony of that. Even the immigration officer who was on hand to with us, the PS up at the Ministry of Carriacou and PD Martinique Affairs, she was very supportive, and so we see that there is a good link up there. Likewise, the minister, she had also came around and gave us the support to that we needed. So we had felt rather encouraged. So that's the reason why, we must say hats off to the people of Carriacou and PD Martinique.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Kevin, for calling and keeping us informed. Of course, you are always welcome to call and keep us updated on what is happening as it relates to the coronavirus.
Okay then, take care.
All right, you too.
All right, good.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, guys, so you heard it. Carriacou, they're ready. They're ready. If you had your reservations about traveling to Carriacou for the carnival as a result of the ongoing coronavirus issue, count yourself safe, all right? Because they are ready to tackle anything that may come their way. I must say, hats off to the Ministry of Health and to the Minister of Health for taking such a proactive step in dealing with this issue. And a lot of people may say, oh, well, it's because we make noise, that's why. Sometimes patience is a virtue, You can't just come and speak about everything that you're going to do before you do it. Sometimes actions speak a lot louder than words, So you got to get everything up and running first, and then make sure that what you have is solid. Because we don't behave like y'all don't know how y'all behave as Grenadians. Got to make sure that it's solid first. And then just let the people do their job. Give them a chance to say that we've done this and we've done that before we jump up and say, well, all they ain't doing this and all they ain't doing that. A lot of things have to change. And it starts with us. Definitely starts with us, the people. And it's not just about saying we want a change. Remember we asked for a change in 2008? Well, not we. Some of all of you. And y'all got it. We all got it. We didn't like it so much. See, because our problem is that we don't like to work on things to make it better. We like to just switch it up. Like when you're putting on a nice outfit to go out, you find that top in going with that pants the way you want it to, so you want to change it to another top. when all the top probably needed was a little accessory to make it look good. We ain't like working with accessories in Grenada. We like to just change it all together. You know? If I ain't like how it looking and how it going, I changing it, I switching it up. Because the accessory is what we're not willing to add. And that accessory is us, us, our contribution to society, our contribution to growth and development, our positive contribution, our productive contribution to growth and development of our country. And once we've begun to do that, it's only then that we'll start seeing the change. It's only then that we'll start appreciating things for what they are. You know, it's like a man thinking that childbirth is so easy and so great. You go in the hospital and you push out a baby, you come home with a baby in your arms, baby looking nice, and you know, you come back, you're looking good, you ain't look like you're seeing trouble, makeup on your face, hair well done, them kind of thing. Until he in the delivery room with you and he sees the agony and the pain and the struggle to get that baby from point A to point B. Only then does he understand what you were trying to say in the beginning. Concept is the same. We have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Hey, good morning, Miss Duncan.
Hi, good morning.
How everything?
Good.
Yeah, Miss Duncan, I want to say congratulations to the invitation committee and the government, because the invitation game, which they first started with a bang, and it is on leaps and bounds. You know, they receive a silver medal from the highest athletic body for the wonderful achievement, and making Grenada proud and bringing Grenada more on the world market. Because when you have a government with vision, all right, with vision, when they care about young people and care about the people of Great Carriacou Community, all right, because of that of the Carriacou National Stadium, we get in these games, and we're going to receive a silver medal for the invitation game. I want to say kudos to the government with a leader with a vision and the committee for wonderful work and really Grenada higher up on the world market. So continue on to God bless you.
You too. Thank you for your contribution, caller. You know, we got to do more as a people to. It's funny how the outside world sees the beauty and the value and the development and the growth in Grenada, and some of us don't see it. You know, because some of us waiting to see flyovers, and some of us waiting to see businesses on every corner, and some of us waiting to see oil fields pumping outside before we can say that Grenada is developed. No, we have come a long, long way in the past 46 years. A very long way. And for those of you who don't see it, for those of you who don't know it, then we need to check our history books. We need to speak to the people who have actually experienced it, and they will tell you. You know, but we gotta be mindful as a people. We got to be more supportive as a people. I think we sometimes spend too much time supporting the wrong things, the wrong ideologies. And I'm not telling people what they should and should not support. Of course, it is your right. But sometimes the same vigor and energy that you put into certain things, there are other things that need that same vigor and energy that you can put into it, and you do not. You stay quiet. You say nothing. That is where my problem is. And that is where the problem lies in a lot of us. You know? So this is some encouragement this morning. Do what you must to ensure that you are contributing to the growth of your country. And that contribution, I'm not saying is to jump up on GBN to the point every morning and complain about the government this and the government that. Or every time there is an issue, you want to bring up 5 and 6 cons about the issue, but you never see a pro in it. It's not about calling and condemning every good a project because you don't agree with it. That's not what a contribution is. You know, and we're real good at that in Grenada. They're building a road. Finally, the road getting built because you quarrel about a road for 50, 60 years. You're quarreling about a road. They finally build the road. And you know what happens? You turn around and say, well, they could have do that instead. Or they could have do this instead. Because for some reason, we just find it more invigorating to complain. We're never thankful for small mercies, no matter how small. But we like to complain. We like to say it's this person's fault and it's that person's fault. We never ourselves take ownership for anything that we may have or have not contributed to that becomes part of the problem that we are facing. So our young people need our support. They don't need us looking down our noses at them and saying, what are you going on so far? They don't need us looking down at them and in condemnation and making their lives a lot more difficult than it is. Sometimes we look at them on the block and we say, you see them? Happiness to have them so. They don't need to get a job. They don't need to do anything. We don't know the circumstances. Have you ever asked that young man why he chooses to do what he's doing? Have you ever walked up to that young man with a newspaper and said, look, this person is looking for employment. I'm going to help you do a CV, because the person probably never has had exposure to writing a CV before. Have you ever walked up to a troubled youth in the community and invite him for a plate of food just to have a conversation to find out what's going on in his head? Have we ever done that? But we quick to call and say the youths of the country need help, and we expect the government to help them. So then what are you doing as a citizen to help curb the problem? You've identified the problem. You've done a wonderful job at identifying that there is a problem with the youth in our country. But what have you done apart from wait on government to just fix every problem because government has a magical wand that they can fix everything? Mr. Fix It. But we ourselves do not want to contribute to problem solving. We're good at pointing out the problem. We're good at saying, that's the problem, you fix it. We're good at finding a million ways in which the government can fix it. But when has any of us come together as a group and say, we can help fix the problem? Or we would like to help fix the problem? When has that happened? But we're quick to jump on radio and say that the youths have a problem, you know? And in all their years in Grenada, they've never seen so much violence and so much crime. We go through a whole revolution, you know, but they never see so much violence. I don't understand. Why are we so quick to condemn? Because the person sitting at the helm of our country, we don't like him. So all of a sudden, everything that him and his administration does, it's bad. And they are responsible for everything that happens negative in the country. And that is our problem. We lead our lives by emotion a little bit too much. We don't leave enough room for common sense. We don't leave enough room for critical thinking. We don't leave enough room for good judgment. We don't leave enough room for logical thinking. We're just guided by those strong emotions that we have towards a person or a party or an institution. That we don't let good sense prevail sometimes. And that's just the raw truth of the situation. The lines are open. You are free to call and contribute to the conversation. The number to call is 440-7377 for local calls, 440-7377 for WhatsApp calls, and of course 347-329-3101 if you are in the diaspora. It really does break my heart to see that we have so much young people with a lost opportunity because somebody thought that it was not their responsibility. You know, NULO would have recently opened their doors to new registrations. How many of us would have seen young people in the community and say, "Listen, NULO is having a registration process. They need XYZ. I'm picking you up 8 o'clock tomorrow, and I'm driving you up to NULO. What you're interested in? You know, what you want to do? You want to be a mechanic? You like fixing cars? Do you want to be an electrician? What are your goals? What are your aspirations? How many of you have done that? But we quick to look down our noses at them and say that there is a problem. Yes, there is a problem. Some of you are the problem. Some of you are the problem. Because they feel like that is what is expected from them, because that is what society sees them as. So, of course, they have no other choice than to be what society expects them to be, a gangster or a wayward child. So, yes, some of us are the problem. So we want government to fix a problem that some of us have created. We don't seem to understand that. Because we never want to take responsibility for our actions. We never want to come to the realization that some of us are the reason why some of these young people are in the state that they are in. Some of the political fight down. When you could go on public fora and say that you can't get a scholarship unless you are an NNP. When you can do something like that and hinder some child somewhere from grasping at an opportunity that is available for them regardless of who them or their families support. Yes, some of you are the problem. Don't be afraid to own it. Own it. Some of you are the problem. How many of you see a single mother struggling with her 2 children? Or her 3, 4, 5 children? How many of you have befriended that woman and find out why she feels like she needs to be in the situation that she's in, or what circumstances has her in that situation? You just never know. We have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, sweetheart, baby girl.
Good morning, Miss Jacob.
How you do, sweetie pie?
A day, fighting the fight.
I'm fighting it too. That woman did this morning, oh my God, she fed me. What could worse than when Uncle Gay, I'm sure you heard about Skyward.
Yep.
Okay. And what about Bishop and them? What worse than what they do now? Well, that girl, that woman, I find she must shut she mouth. Oh, Lord. Thing I hear that lady say this morning, I'm afraid to call she the man marry. But I don't know what happened to she. Only on GBN she can't go over no other station, you know. Only GBN she could hear. Only that station alone she could hear. Because no other station don't want she. Oh,
Well, Miss Jacob, it is what it is.
eh?
I say it is what it is. You see, sometimes it's easier for us to look at situations in isolation. You know, we've gone through an entire revolution,
Yes.
you know, and we speak about that revolution. We have history on that revolution.
Yes.
And even though the purpose for some people of the revolution was not reached, we must admit that there was violence in the revolution. It is part of our history, you know?
So we want to run down Kogeri, eh? Running him down.
But it's
This,
not
that,
it's
and
not
the
just
other.
that. It's not just that. We have seen more violence or more cases of violence in Grenada.
Yes.
Not saying that the violence that's happening now is justifiable, but at the same time, we are letting people out there believe that Grenada is such a
Grenada
violent
bad.
nation and that things are so bad in Grenada
You understand?
and people are so violent in Grenada.
Grenada.
We're looking at these little
Never.
isolated situations and making it seem like if it's such a big thing.
That's right. Never. Trinidad. Eh? What all the rest of country and them? Look, Trinidad. Official news. A father tell the child go in the bed. The child go in the bed, go and hang himself. Eh?
Yeah.
What? Boy, you see this type of people? They crucify. Who's the honorable Dr. Kit Mitchell for them to crucify? If they crucify Christ, eh? Christ do a lot of things. And the best looking one had the worst heart. Eh? Sell him for 30 pieces of silver. When he see can thing it, where the first hanging come from? Not they? That was the first hanging. He go outside, he throw the 30 pieces of silver, and he go outside and he hang himself. My God.
Ms. Jacob, sometimes I wonder because we look at situations, the end product of situations, and we never know the circumstances leading to that situation. We never know what could have caused it, how it happened, if there was anything that could have been done to prevent it.
That's
But
right.
we look at the end product and we are quick to judge the end product.
Oh, God.
But like I said, we need to start changing the narrative.
Yes.
We need to start changing the narrative. We keep hearing the same old story over and over and over
Yes.
and over.
They won't change the attitude. The attitude won't change.
Yeah.
And this said that Rennie now is worse than Uncle Gary's time.
Yep.
This said worse.
Ms. Jacob,
I
I
see
don't know.
that.
Well, we had to keep fighting the fight here, girl.
Yeah, we're fighting it. We're fighting it down with press, man.
Yep.
Satan had to leave us alone.
Absolutely, I agree.
Fighting it down with some press, man.
Yeah.
Going down in press.
Yeah. I agree.
So, you go have a wonderful weekend, baby.
You too, Miss
God
Jacob.
bless you. And I love you, darling.
I love you too.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, we got to change the narrative. We have to start becoming the change that we want to see, you know. If you want your children to behave properly, you can't be doing a set of wrong thing and still expect them to behave properly. It don't work like that. You have to emulate you have to radiate what you want your children to emulate. You know, you want people to be more caring in society, but you're jumping on a bus full of people and you ain't even saying morning. But you want people to be more caring in society. You gotta radiate what you want people to emulate. You got to give off what you want to get back. So we quick to run down with youth like you were never a youth once in your life. But we quick to run them down and say that the youth this and the youth that and more needs to be done for the youth. But what is the more that you are talking about? What is the more? And how can you contribute to that more? That's what we need to start saying. How can I contribute to that more? What plans, what programs can I develop to help build that more that you are speaking about that you want to see? We have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Cammy.
Yeah, Miss Duncan.
Hi.
Good morning. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I listening to you, and you just said something there that it touched me, and it is happening in real life.
Mm-hmm.
You're going on a bus, and you will not say good morning.
Yeah.
Sometimes again you say good morning and nobody answers.
Nobody answer.
You understand?
Yeah.
But then Sunday morning, you go to church, and everybody is so good.
Mm-hmm.
They want to shake you and they want to hug you. But they pass you every day, Miss Duncan. They won't say hi. You understand? I'm talking about people that are living around me.
Hmm.
You understand? When the children say good morning, don't shut up. They can shut up the children from saying good morning to you. Big people and children don't have anything. And again, a child telling me good morning and the mother telling him shut up. And I live to see, and it was with my eyes, that one of the child beating her, and they had to call the police. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the kind of thing we teach with children. You understand? You understand? And it's so sad. I am sitting in the bus terminal. Yes. And whenever I call the radio station and speak about things that is affecting us as a nation, big, hard-back man and woman passing and throwing words and saying all kind of dirty things. You understand? And it is so wrong. Miss Duncan, let me tell you something. If something is wrong in this country, in any department with the government, and we know it's wrong, we must speak about it. If we love Grenada, if you really love Grenada, and something going on in health, in education, in finance, and you speak about it as long as you have the facts.
Of course.
I want all you to hear me clearly, because when I speak, people will study the other way around and say that, oh, I'm crossing NNC. You understand? But there is a lot of NNC supporters that does a lot of wrong things and say a lot of wrong things to people. One of a member of the NNC government tell me last week, that is not the government. That's what she tell me on the seminar. But I ignore her because a lot of people is ignorant about the facts. They're very ignorant. Right? I spoke about a security and a police officer that embarrassed me and embarrassed a lot of Grenadians. Miss Duncan, if you walk in a store and the manager say you come and you pick up something, they have some kind of evidence to see you pick up something. Nobody go say that you thing you go there and they suspect that you take something. That's why they call your name.
Right.
When you have a good job in this country or in any department in Grenada, you have to hold up your head high. Right?
Yeah.
You have to hold up your integrity counts. People look at that.
Yep.
And in newspaper last week, they have two men, a police officer and another security with the Prime Minister on the front page and on the back page. That people in Grenada will concern when they see these things about allegation. People didn't go there, you never would have call. People didn't pass to somebody line, you never would have call. So me and you have to think of the things we do in the society because people will stop Miss Duncan.
Yeah.
Nobody has the right to come here and curse me and tell me about my foot. I'm not the only person that's sick with my legs in Grenada. There are people all over the world that sick, so they're using that to get at me. And it's not right. It is not right. Miss Duncan, we must show a little more love for each other.
Absolutely.
You on the radio, so you have to know how to uphold yourself and live.
Yep.
And try and do the right thing. That you name me getting nothing that will disgrace your family and the people of Grenada, Carriacou, with him and me. Because if you come in town and you want shoplift, they will say, Miss Duncan, they're on radio, and you should go and shoplift. You have to be a good old mother for others,
Of course.
for people. You know what I say?
Yep.
I ain't go to no university. I ain't go to UE. But I get me education on the street.
Yep. You've been to the University of Life.
I know. not to rob anybody,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Because people all over the world know Miss Cammy. If my children do anything wrong, I will be the first one to say you're wrong. I am not covering up for my children. But my children is big man or money. They do anything wrong, Miss Duncan, they have to stand the consequence. Right? But some of us, when things happen, we sweep everything under the carpet. And it's a blame game we playing.
Blame game.
And next thing before I leave, because today could be the last day of my voice. The Prime Minister of Grenada, Carriacou, is doing what he's doing for us in Grenada. And you have people that will not speak about the good things, only the negative.
Yep.
And one Grenadian that will run them out, take a drive up to Boucherville. Take a drive up to Boucherville and walk in there. And you will see the kind of work that is going on right now in Grenada. Take a walk and you will see the amount of work and sand and gravel and workmen that is working in Boucherville. So when audience sit back on other radio stations and say nothing happening and painting Grenada like nothing happening in this country, and only in Grenada you are crime, or you think again. And let me tell you something before I go. He even said I community with a Scott. In voting for NNP, NDC could never get my vote here. Put that in a you pot and smoke it. Are you listening?
Yeah.
If I decide I'm not voting for NNP again, tell NDC supporters, or you will not get me vote. Never, never, never. I know what I'm speaking about. Put that in a you pot and smoke it. And I don't want no sympathy from nobody in Grenada. I want no sympathy from nobody because I know my God. Have a blessed weekend, Miss Duncan.
You too, Miss Cammy. Thank you so much for your contribution. See, guys, we got to do better. We got to do better. When you hear things like that, it breaks your heart. But, Miss Cammy, I want to respond to something that you said. You know why the naysayers would never post something positive? You know why they'd make allegations and never retract on the statements when it's proven that they're wrong? Because it doesn't fit into the narrative that they are trying to create. That the NNP administration has never done anything good for the country, and that Dr. Mitchell is bad, and that their party is the best party of choice, and that's the narrative they're trying to create. So they will never say anything that will counter that. They would never post anything that would not fit into that narrative. And there are a lot of us like that in Grenada. You know, I was listening to Ken Roy last night and on a live video, and it really did. It was funny. I laughed, but there were a lot of facts in it. And one of the things that he would have talked about is people who keep saying that, talking about the system and the system this and the system that, and in this place this, and in this place there's that, and in this place is better, and well, go. You know? As simple as that, he said, well, go. And I agree with him. You know, it's funny that some of the Grenadians are living abroad who are quick to jump on social media and bash government and say that this is wrong and Grenada this and Grenada that and this do right and that do right. And they're sitting in another man's country, paying taxes in another man's country, contributing to another man's country, but they want to condemn the country that they come from, that they contribute nothing to. Let's think about that. You know? So you want to talk about VAT should not go up, and the passport must not be $250, and you want to talk about don't increase this and don't increase that and don't increase the other, and electricity is so much and wages are so small and so on, and then you are working in another man's country where 60 and 70 and 80% of your income goes to taxes. I want to make people believe, people who don't know better, believe that it's all peaches and cream where you are. and we living in Swallow here in Grenada. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't burn the bridge that has raised you. If you think things bad in Grenada, there must be something you could do to help. You know? Because you're living in a land of milk and honey. So send some milk and honey our way. If you think that you're in a better place. You know? It really irks me when I see these things happening. Because you're giving people a false representation of what Grenada is really about. Of what our people is really about. Let's not do that. Let's not tarnish our brand for a little bit of Facebook likes and a couple extra follows. Let's not do that. You know? All of the people who feel that they're so articulate and they can go on any forum or call any radio program and they can say, oh, well, the government hasn't done this in their proper English, and yet still they haven't contributed nothing. Not one thing they've contributed to the growth and development of the country, even when the party that they support were in office. But, like I said, we are excellent finger pointers. Excellent. Nobody wants to take responsibility for getting the hard work done. You know? But I am only here to speak and drink my water. I can't tell anybody what to do. I can't tell anybody how they must behave. I cannot dictate anyone's choices. But what I can do, and will continue to do, is provide information, speak truths, look for positivity, and share that positivity with you. That's all I can do from my end. Can tell you what to do. You don't have to listen to me. I'd like you to. You don't have to. But at the end of the day, when we do our self-assessment, we must be able to identify at least one person whose life you've changed. Apart from your children, whose responsibility it is of yours to ensure that their lives are better. But at least one extra person whose life you have changed. One contribution that you have made to our nation. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Miss Duncan. And how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, Miss Duncan, I'm feeling ever so good. And it's so nice hearing your voice, Miss Duncan. And the things you're touching on today, it really touched my heart. I can't believe it. And what you so rightly said, when you're saying that some of the people, we the people of Grenada, when we travel to a different country, they call it the big apple and England. When they go there, when I left and I went away when I was a youngster, going to live with my mom sent for me. And when I see the condition of the place and where I left Grenada, beautiful Grenada, living the wonderful sea, when I see the blue sea and the blue sky and hot sun every day, and I see the condition where she bring me, I say, my God, I shall better off stay with my grandmother. I never could have condemned my country. When I was growing up, I was very, very young, a teenager. And when I was growing up, I said, my only wish, my only desire is to come back to my own country, my land of my birthplace where I born and bred.
Yeah.
I wanted to come back so much. And by the grace of God, I did come back. And I'm so happy. And I hate to hear when some of the Grenadians, they come back, and they come back, wherever they come back from, they condemning our country, our prime minister, and the things that happening in Grenada, and where they live in. If you see where they live in abroad, big bars on the window, everywhere they go, even the toilet, they can't even get to go out. They keep turning around to see who is walking behind them.
And Grenada, we have a lovely, peaceful country. As my mother used to say, we're so happy we could beat Mr. Happy because we're very happy indeed. But these people here, they don't know what they want. They think sometimes they're up there and they think, Grenada, we have to live free. Everything is free because we're getting free sunshine and free rain. We don't have to pay for nothing. But when they're abroad, when you work for your wages, they just take in everything what they want out of it. And they leave you with a little bit of kakada, and you have to survive on that. But down here, they think everything must come free. It's a little island. What have we got? We're doing our best. And we have a wonderful prime minister who creating a lot of development for us. Yeah. Before a few years ago, I used to see a lot of young people on the block just sitting under that tree, talking, so can they put a pot on fire. Now, Miss Duncan, you're walking and you can't see nobody. If you fall down, you can't see nobody to help you. Everybody's busy. They're very, very busy indeed. So I think this country is doing great. And tell you the truth, I will support my Prime Minister every day. He's doing wonderful. I see no one better than Dr. Keith Mitchell. I give God the honor for him. And let us bless him. And let us ask God to bless him each day, every day, and to bring development in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. And have a wonderful little minister up here. She's very nice and young little girl, young and tender plant she is. Let us pray for her. Let us pray for things to happen in our country. Our country is beautiful, and I'm proud of it. And England and America, Switzerland, Germany, they can't come before it. All what you seen, big, tall scrapers, tall concrete jungle. We don't have no concrete jungle here. We have beautiful country. When you turn around, you see trees. When you're walking in England, sometimes you don't see a tree. When you see one, you say, thank God, there is a bit of green. Down here, we have it down here, and we're happy. So let us give God thanks. Have a wonderful weekend, Miss Duncan.
You too.
And you're saying wonderful things to the people. Tell the people what they have. And you don't know what we have. We don't know what we're going to get. Let us give God thanks for what we have. I'm happy. Whether you're eating green fig and drinking bush tea, you're happy down here. Down here, you have to go to the shop and everything, herbal tea. We have herbal tea growing here. All the herbal bush, we have it. Black sage in your box, they send it away. They boxing it and they selling it for the people. Everything, what do you call it, sour sea. We have it natural growing. We're looking at it. Sometimes we don't even want it. So we're happy. We're very happy. Give God thanks. And good and big, give God thanks for what all you have. I don't know what I have. When they go back now, as soon as the plane land, they shivering. They cold. Oh, God, I wish I could go back to Grenada. Next time they're coming back again because they miss it. Because I did miss it. Anyways, Duncan, have a nice weekend. God bless you. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for your contribution, caller. One thing I want to disagree with you, honey, caller. We know what we have in her, but we know exactly what we're going to get, because we've had it before. They've not come up around and shown us anything different that they're going to do. All they've done is encourage a few people to say no. They've taken on board a few more naysayers. That's all that they have done. But they have never really shown us anything that they would do differently. But we know exactly what we have, and what we must learn to do is build on what we have to make what we have better. And that's it. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
We just correctly the lady call. We know what we have, and we know if we take out something that we have that is brilliant and development, a benefit to the people of the country, they who are opposing everything. We know what we will get, because what we will get is not something good.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in 2008 to 2013, Parliament closed for 6 months. Where were these people complaining about everything now? I have people getting paid late every month until the second and the third of every month. Where were these people at the time? They were nothing greater. They just arrived. And if they are away, they know what's going on in the country. All right? I want to say people condemning. You help people. You help people develop their life, they're complaining. You help people better their living condition, they're complaining. You do good, they're complaining. So I wonder if these people get the opportunity to go and dig up where they never swim berry, they go take it out, go and for that and bring it to the country they live in. Because Grenada is a peaceful country. For the peace and stability, we can't be Grenada for that. We have peace and stability. And even some of we Grenada travel, you be traveling, traveling. You and that person from there live in the same housing unit, and they will do like they don't know you. But sometimes in Grenada here, you might have food, and you go by a neighbor. The neighbor, you get a bread food, you get some fig. Not in America, nothing like you get that because everybody like the air that life. But in Grenada, we live in peace and unity. Even those are complaining, they complain because of hate, three for one person.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say to these people, free yourself from mental slavery and try to love your country. Love your country where you live in there. This song can have a wonderful.
All right, you two. Thank you again for your contribution, caller. But it is definitely true. We oh Lord, I ain't plan to spend too much time on the naysayers this morning. But I do want to appeal to us as a people. We have to do better. We identify problems. Let's start building solutions. You know, let's start working on ways that we can be better, that we can do better, that we can thrive for better for our people. You know, the caller brought up something that was so important, and it's a question that I ask every day. I hear somebody complain about wages and salaries and increases and Imani workers, and every time I hear them complain, in my mind I say, but wait, in 2008 to 2013, where were you? When did your sabbatical end? You know? You weren't hearing them on the call-in programs. You weren't hearing them. They didn't take to the streets and protest. They didn't ask for a shutdown of the country. They did none of that. But they have the effrontery now to condemn a system that has proven to work for Grenada time and time again. And that is undisputable. We have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Miss Duncan,
Hi, Miss Cammy.
everybody calling us so nice Grenada is. Look at the tongue of St. George today Friday. And there is people there, some of the elderly people there, they get a little pension already.
Yeah.
Miss Duncan, look, one of the ladies just buy 2 little drinks here and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
They get the pension already. Miss Duncan. So little things count.
Yeah.
We must look at that. You understand?
Yeah.
Little things count, Miss Duncan. And they don't appreciate that. And I want to say something. That if you don't like Michelle as the Prime Minister, and you don't like his party, you don't support his party, but if you, as a Grenadian, love Grenada, and you see something good is happening in Grenada, you speak about these things.
Yeah.
You speak about the good things that you see is happening because you love Grenada. What I'm saying is, there is a group of people in Grenada. They say they're the opposition. They have an eyesight issue going on in this country. And they want to tell me that they not go to a university, that nothing good is happening in Grenada. Who they fooling?
Yeah.
Who they fooling, Miss Sammy? I go up on the street. Me they fooling? They can't tell me that. Take a ride right wrong Grenada, and you will see nice houses. Yeah? Take a ride up Boucherjou, and you will see 3-story building. That is for people that in need. They go work and they go pay, and when they don't pay, it become theirs. Go in Chatel. Go in Guam and see the health center. Right? Go up in the hospital, the general hospital, and you go see what they're doing. Who are you fooling? I don't want to call out your name, you know. Because I don't want to sue me, but I'm going in the jail. When I you sue me, I don't pay no money. I ain't paying you a cent. Yeah? Who are you for fool? You know, it's not every day you will make $1. For the past 2 months, I'm struggling here, yes. But somebody passing on by 2 minutes. I'm grateful for that. Yeah? I don't know what they want. Greed, covetousness. You all want too much. Rome did not build in a day.
True.
Grenada, where I is here now, I remember as a young girl, I used to bathe right here.
Yeah.
Right here. Me and Akela and them used to bathe right on that bus terminal. where we bus driving here. We used to be here, where the mall is. We used to call it Miami Beach. I don't come in Grenada, born here. Where the mall is, where the boat and them coming in there. Where NIS, we used to call it Miami Beach. People in town know that. You hear me? And look at the state that Grenada now. You have people that Grenadians that living abroad. When they come, they don't know where they is. They don't know if this is Melville Street. Because they know you have a big sea wall. Yeah? But we sitting on top of the sea. Right? And they say you don't wash up is going Grenada. All you don't know what all you want. Again, you have people that living in other parts of the world, and they come in Grenada and they adore Grenada. Instead of that, all you only passing and harassing me. Is that something about Kit Mitchell or about Peter? I never run for election. But this man from St. Paul passing and cursing me and disrespecting me and telling me all dirty things to a politician. Yeah? If you fall along in the street, I is the first person to pick you up. And you don't have chance. And we so ungrateful. Yeah? And God put the Prime Minister here for a reason. When he's ready, he'll take him down. When he's ready, he'll remove him. Not man. Put that in you fight again and smoke it. Because nothing good is happening for us. If anyone else who come there, I've been there. I've been there and anything. I used to follow them. I used to leave the food to cook on a Sunday. And I was looking for the bus. And I couldn't pay my rent. I could not pay my rent. You hear what I say? This is a testimony for Grenadians who has beat up on me. I couldn't pay my rent. Right? Right now, I have green peas. Go up this Museo. I have green peas in front of me door. Right in front of me door. I'm blongo. So I thank God. I thank God for Grenada. So I will shut down your mouth because one of these days I will say what I want to say. And I will call some of their name. You understand? God bless so much people that they have the brigade helping poor people with a little house. Have a blessed weekend again.
You too, Miss
Bye-bye.
Cammy. Yep. You see, some of us get emotional when we think about what we've been through, what we know Grenada has come from and has and is right now, and we hear people saying that we've moved nowhere and we're going nowhere and there isn't any development and we're struggling, and it hurts a lot of us when we hear that because we know better, you know. But of course, it's our duty to keep you informed, and we will continue to do that for as long as we have breath in us. All right, guys, it's a long weekend. I'm going up in La Poterie and enjoy Saraka. I hope I get to dance with the Tivoli drummers and them, you know, and enjoy some of our culture and eat some food. That is the added bonus. But wherever you are listening, please have a wonderful weekend. And in whatever you say and whatever you do, be safe, be secure. We always want to be talking with you and never about you. Enjoy the remainder of your day.
You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada via www.hardtalkgrenada.com.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.